There begins the unstraight era of Joe Biden. What Joe Biden began with doesn't make you really feel optimistic for his policy. He promised to support human rights issues in the whole world. But suddenly, he is removing the classification of the Houthis that they are terrorists. Can you imagine? They shell all the airports in Saudi Arabia. Recently, they shelled the airport of Aden, while the official legitimate government had moved from Saudi Arabia to Yemen. So they welcomed the legitimate government. They welcomed them with rockets and missiles that killed tens of people and injured hundreds. They killed tens of thousands of people, among them women and children. They store the Iranian missiles in the mountains. The source of their training is Hezbollah. They hold up in children's schools, using it as military bases. Thousands of Yemenis dismembered, a lot of them without legs, without hands, because of the Houthi mines that they spread everywhere. Guess what? They say death to America. Yet Joe Biden says they're not terrorists. But they say death to America. Yeah, they do. But we know that they don't mean it. Because you know what? They did not kill neither American nor Israelites, but they mean by the Americans the Sunnis. You know, those people are batini. You know what batini? Batini, they use external words and they mean inside something different. So when they say the Americans, they mean the Sunnis. I wonder, Mr. Joe Biden, I really wonder. Don't let us miss the era of Trump. As a matter of fact, among the best works of Trump is that he classified Hezbollah as terrorists, and it took a long time to classify them to be terrorists. Look what they've been doing in Lebanon, in Syria. We see you extremely affected with the killing of Khashoggi. But you do not have the same feeling regarding the dead people in Yemen. I mean, if one Khashoggi was killed, we have millions of Khashoggis in Yemen. Don't you feel bad for their children and women? Or you're carrying on establishing militias in every Arabian Sunni country. Hezbollah, a couple of weeks ago, before the termination of Trump's era, were hiding themselves, preparing themselves to vanish, to disappear from Lebanon. And their icons, their heads, were about to leave to Iran. And suddenly, when Trump is gone and Joe Biden came, they relaxed. No more danger on them. And after 2 or 3 days of Joe Biden's era, they carried on their assassinations. Starting with Luqman Slim, they killed him in a very horrible way. So when you say Houthis, you're saying Hezbollah, because those are one of the branches of Hezbollah in Yemen and one of their shops. It's a Hezbollah shop. Iran, which was suffocated, strangled by Trump, now they feel a great deal of breakthrough. And they are just like a spoiled child. No, we're not going to stop our nuclear project. No, do whatever you want. We know that those people are much wanted by the West. Because they are the neighbors of Turkey. And Turkey is causing some headache to the West. So, Iran is a good alternative. That's why it's good. Improve your relationship with them. Someday you're going to use them against Turkey. What's going on? What kind of policy is this? We're not relaxed. We're not happy. I myself said I'm optimistic, but now it's the opposite. Can't explain it. Death for America. America replies and says, those are not terrorists. It's a strange and absurd kind of policy that give us some clues about who's making decisions, who's deciding, engineering, and are those presidents only contractors? The problem with Joe Biden, that he's not looking at the war in Yemen from the angle of those who kindled the fire. And they are the Iranians. And ironically, I recently heard him saying that we're going to order the Houthis to stop shelling their missiles on Saudi Arabia. You know what it means? It means we're going to keep you guys. We want to keep you as you are. We endorse your legitimacy despite the fact that the legitimate government came already to Yemen. And the Houthis, they are cartels, mob, they started to shell the civilian airport. What does this mean? There's something absurd here. You're not looking at the source of the problem. You're turning your face to the Saudis, but you're not turning your face to the Iranians who kindled that fire. I don't hear anything against the Iranians about the whole war. Who is the source? Who is the problem, the real problem that caused this war in Yemen? Saudis? The Houthis are provoking Saudis on the borders, and yet you don't want the Saudis to take any action? We can see at the era of Biden that those Shiites are reactivating. Look at the killing of Luqman Saleem in Lebanon. They killed him. Right after Joe Biden spoke about the war in Yemen, what did the Houthis do? They launched other missiles on Saudi Arabia. This is a message. It means now the time has changed. No more Trump. So, is this a stupid policy? No. It's smart, but dirty. It's just like saying, someone took your house and said, don't do anything bad in the house, but stay in the house. But don't do anything bad. I can't describe what's going on. Is this the new policy based on honoring human rights, humanity? Who caused this chaos and felony in Yemen except the Iranians? That's absolutely injustice. It's unjust that you blame the Saudis without giving strict orders against the Iranians to stop their support to those people. Those Houthi Yemenis, they have nothing more than Kalashnikov. Nothing. Oh, beside the Kalashnikov, a bunch of khat that they fill their mouth with it to get high. They know nothing. Who is orchestrating the war between Yemen and Saudi Arabia except Hezbollah and Iran? Yet America doesn't want to see this. It only wants to blame Saudi Arabia. That's all. Look, I don't get anything. I don't get paid from Saudi Arabia. I don't have any relationship with the government there. Sometimes I have to declare that there are some mistakes they do. But I want to speak the truth. This is unfair. This is rubbish. That we don't hear any blame against those who kindled the war, but we hear the blame against those who are supporting their borders. The Houthis were about to launch their missiles even at Mecca. Well, that doesn't interest you, but they are launching airports and killing many civilians. So the normal answer should be give up all your weapons and you have to comply to the new legitimate government that came back from Saudi Arabia to Yemen. This is fair enough. If you do not do that, you're not fair. And your policy is biased to the Houthis, to Iran, which makes me think that the Obama policy is restoring in support to Iran.